All right, what up, Freedom family? It's Pastor Jay again, and today I am here with the lovely, the beautiful, the Disney princess herself, Sierra. So I wanted to talk to you as I've been doing with everyone else, and so the first question I wanted to ask you is, what has it been like for you? What's been unique for you about the experience that you're having with us as a church?
Well, right from the start, it's kind of funny that you would say unique, because Freedom is very unique, but there was also this sense of like familiarity when I came to the church, even though we had never been there before. Wesley and I actually both like kind of looked at each other at the end and were like, did this feel really like familiar? Like have we been here before?
Yeah.
And so I think that speaks a lot about how it kind of feels like home, like right away, and how you just feel at place if that's where you're supposed to be. But it also is extremely unique in the sense of how diverse it is, culturally and racially diverse, coming from a church that had, 90% white people, going to a church that was not 90% white people, which is what we wanted. And it's hard because it's hard to find a church that is truly diverse, like not just you're going to a Black church or you're going to a white church or you're going, has an equal, like we have everyone across the board there. And so anyone can kind of feel at home and welcome. And that was really big for Wesley too. Not seeing himself reflected really at previous churches. Not that he didn't love them, but he didn't fit in. So although I would say it was definitely unique in the sense of diversity and actually authenticity, which is, I know that's funny because that's your big thing. And I felt like Freedom was really authentic. One thing Wesley always says is that Freedom is ironic in the sense that it really does make you feel free and bring you freedom to like be yourself. And I felt really like I didn't have to fake anything. Like I could dress the way that I wanted to dress and wear the stuff that I wanted to wear and just kind of be myself, and felt like loved and accepted. And also, I feel like Freedom really gets down to the nitty gritty with stuff too. So it's not like it's a surface type of, or whatever you'd call that. Like, it's not like it's just a surface, like you can be free in yourself, and that it's like a genuine type of thing. So, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I feel like I could just,
Well,
we love it. So.
Well, you've heard me talk enough, and I think anybody who has been around me long enough knows that I'm bent on authenticity. Like, exactly. I just don't do a whole lot of facades and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So obviously you know this, but somebody watching may not know this. As a church, we have values that we essentially not just subscribe to, but we want to live by. One of those values is authenticity, which you just mentioned. So I wanted to just pick your brain in light of all of the things that we're dealing with as a culture, all the things that we're seeing, maybe even your own personal experiences. I want you to answer the question, number one, like how important do you think authenticity is from the church specifically? And then, like, how do you feel like that can actually serve the culture that we are all in at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that, I think that authenticity is of the utmost importance, because if we're not being our authentic selves, then how can we check ourselves? How can we talk about the hard stuff? And that is really, I feel like, how Freedom approaches authenticity is unique versus a lot of other churches that we've been around or visited, which is that they really get like into the hard stuff. Like you guys really talk about the hard stuff, and we talk about the stuff that's going on, like the current climate and the current politicals. Like we don't just kind of ignore it and be like, well, you know, Jesus loves everyone, and so that's like the end of that. We really get into the things that the uncomfortable, which is, you know, without being uncomfortable, how can we grow? Like, and which is, I mean, you've taught us that even in just the short time that I mean, of course we knew that and wanted that, but we truly see how like important it is being there, and what it shows in the leadership, it shows in the congregation. So I
think that authenticity comes from an understanding, at least from our standpoint as leaders. We are not people who are just living the Christian life in church. You know, we're not just living the Christian life from the stage or when you have a microphone in your hand, or
it's tangible.
Like not just like when people are watching, you know what I mean? I just think that that's so vitally important, because I think we live in a culture where people can spot a fake.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
people told me that they tuned in to the sermon where Pastor Mike was talking, and they were like, wow, we were watching like other sermons, and that one was just like a night and day difference, like in the way they were like, you know, we were tuning in elsewhere and we weren't getting that real like message of what we're currently experiencing going on. Because I think that although the intention may be good to stay there and be like, let's just talk about love and, you know, the good parts of, of that, it's not tangible in people's lives, because they're like, this is in front of me. How do I deal with it? So,
I think the last thing you said is probably the most important thing. This is happening in people's lives. Like you can't ignore life. You know what I mean? And I think that that's probably the biggest part of what we strive for as a church. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't say that how do I say this? I wouldn't say that we cater to the culture, but we are highly aware that we are in the culture. And because we're in the culture, that means all kinds of things. It changes how we preach. It changes what we sing. It changes our outreach efforts. It changes how we talk to people. It changes everything. And it's not a removal or a throwing away with truth, but it is very much a, hey, how does truth actually exist here?
Yeah, it feels even more truthful. Like it feels like the truth. It's like,
Well, I'm not going to keep you, because again, people don't watch long videos. I said that to her before we started recording this. So I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. We'll probably do this again, but I wanted to just allow you a moment to share your own experience with us as a church.
Well, you know, I like to talk, so time.
As do I, which is why I'm shutting us both off right now. But no, seriously, thank you. We appreciate you. You know, we love you as a church. So we're excited about this, and I can't wait for people to see this.
We love this church.
Yeah. All right.